All right, guys, welcome to our $1 Million Mastermind week number.
We don't know.
6 or 7. I know it's a joke how much I missed the week, so we won't say, but we'll know. Someone can look in the file section and it's all listed there, but it's either 6 or 7. Anyway, I want to jump into it because I'm on fire. Do you want to know why I'm on fire?
Yes.
Yes. Not just because of the sex mutation chapter either. Anne can appreciate that joke. But anyway, it's because I just got off the phone with NSA headquarters. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're on the fence about going to Black NSA, you hear me? Going to Influence 18, something is wrong with you. You're not serious about professional speaking. You're just not. I'm calling you on yourself. If you are serious about, I'm a professional speaker, I want to be in the room, I want to walk down the hall, I want to be around other people that do what I do, other people that change the world. I'm going to see some people that I've followed for years. And then instead of feeling like a stranger, I know Doris, who knows everybody because she's been in NSA for a while. I also know Marquessa knows people. I know Robert knows people, and blah, 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 blah knows all of these people. And they're going to make sure that I'm introduced to people that I could maybe create a collaboration with. Did you guys remember me telling you the story about how at my very first NSA conference, which was 2005, new speaker. I mean, I barely knew my first name as a professional speaker, let me tell you. But I went to the conference, got introduced around, and wound up getting a contract to be a trainer for Marjorie Brody. Haven't you heard me tell that story before? Marjorie Brody is a CPAE, CSP with NSA. We like letters. That means she's in the Speaker Hall of Fame, and she's a certified speaking professional. And so she was clearly impressed with me, and I needed, as a new speaker, I don't know if anybody can relate, but I needed some money. I had just gotten downsized, and she said, hey, I'm in Pennsylvania, won't you come and audition? Do you think I went? I made $1,000 a day. Do I need to tell you that? Yes, I did. And so she introduced me, and I think she still has her company going. It's a lot of Marjorie Brody's at NSA. And at that time in my career, that worked. And I think I spoke for her for a good year or a few months, actually, before another NSAer told me about the seminar companies. And you know the rest of the story. So guys, I can't tell you enough why you want to be there. But why am I sharing this right now? Well, Black NSA, we're fierce and we're powerful. And one of the best ways that we really connect with each other is live in person at the conference. You're not going to get the same benefits just seeing us virtually. Do you agree, disagree? Am I right or am I right?
You're right.
You're not going to get the same connection. So those of you that are like, you know what, I want to save money, you're actually wasting money because it's going to take you a whole nother year, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the level you want to be at because you don't know nobody knows you. You know, you got to show up. You got to be in it. And within Black NSA, we're going to make sure that you're supported before you get there, while you're there, and once it's over with. You hear me? So how are we doing that? I just got off the phone. Normally, I need to collect enough money to make sure we have a meeting room after the conference. Because you guys heard me say the conference ends on Tuesday. We have post-conference Black NSA meetings starting at 9 a.m., sometimes going to 4, depending on which level member you are, blah, 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 you know. And so I normally have to collect enough money to pay for that meeting room, right? Then I have to figure out, okay, do we want to meet, you know, maybe for meet and greets, cocktails or whatever in the evenings. It's all this stuff to do. Well, it's a new team, by the way, that took over NSA. You know, we have a new CEO. Everybody knows that, right? Mary Lou. And then her right-hand meeting planner, she's a sister, y'all. I was shocked. I got on Zoom. I was, you get on Zoom with someone, and Mary Lou, because I spoke to the CEO. I know I'm going fast because I'm excited and I don't want to take up all your time. So excuse me, I'm a New Yorker. We just speak fast. So anyway, what was I saying? So anyway, Mary Lou chatted with me, and it was awesome about the big picture strategic changes that will happen with NSA overall that benefits us all. Okay. Get into that another time. So then she wanted to make sure that I met the meeting planner, you know, the person that decides on the rooms and all that kind of stuff for us and much more. So we've been going back and forth with email. We finally met today. She comes on Zoom. I about fall out of my chair. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a sister. I was shocked. So of course I told her about Black NSA and everything, and she was so sweet. Her name is Siri, Sarah, spelled C-R-E, and I can't remember her last name right now. But she is just amazing, guys. And look at what they're gonna do for us. We don't have to pay for the meeting room. So we're gonna meet like from 9 until, well, last year, because anybody on here from last year? I don't think anybody's here. Oh, Ann, what time did we finish Wednesday? Was it like 9 to 5? You're muted. Huh? What was it?
You mean the meeting we had where we had the ceremony and all of that? No, which meeting?
The post meeting, the day after the conference was over.
Oh, yes. It
was pretty much all day, yeah.
It was all day. It was all day.
Because we had a mastermind. Because
right.
how many of you guys feel overwhelmed after a conference? Anybody? Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice to say, this is what I took in, these are the people I met, and this is what I'm going to do in the next 90 days to make sure I get my ROI? Anybody that way? Is it just me? I've been doing this for years. Normally I go in somebody's room. I do all kinds of things to make sure, because you're overwhelmed. You're excited. You make all these promises to yourself, and then you go home and you put all your notes in a drawer, and then 6 months later, you're like, man, did I waste my money? I'm just saying, we do this, right? So as a mastermind, aren't we already connected? Do you guys feel connected to me? Because I so feel connected to you, right? We're connected. So why not after the conference, we're able to say, hey, Doris, what session did you go to? And Doris may have attended a session that was competing against another session you wanted to go to. You get me? So then Doris is able to say, these are the top 3 things I learned, and this is what I'm going to do. What if what Doris comes up with is the same thing Demetria needs or Mary needs? You think that's a benefit? Okay, so, and by the way, David Banks, who's a new member to the leadership team. Welcome, David. Woo! You didn't know that, right, David? No, he is. We've been going back and forth, but I've given him a specific responsibility to head up the mastermind meeting in person. So, you know, we need someone, because I got my hands in a lot of things, and, you know, I've learned the power of delegation, and I'm impressed with him, and he just loves NSA, and especially Black NSA. So he's perfect for it, but he's going to make sure he sets up a meeting, an agenda, and everything that addresses all of our needs. And of course, we'll have our wonderful Ann in the center of it all. So anyway, so we're going to have the mastermind meeting. We're going to have a town hall meeting for Black NSA. Yes. You know what that means. These are people that aren't necessarily in a leadership role with Black NSA, but they got something to say, and they have different needs they want met, or they may have a vision for something. I mean, Ann is a long time NSAer, but she just called me, like, you've heard the story a million times, so I'm not going to bore you with it. She called me up for this idea for the mastermind. That came from one member. So you may have an Ann-like idea and says, you know what, this is what I think we should do with Black NSA. So we're open for that. You get me? So we're going to have a town hall meeting. We're going to have a mastermind, and only people that have paid for the mastermind can attend. And we're going to have a board meeting, and then we're going to have a board of advisors meeting. So we're going to have a whole lot of meetings, and I'm trying to organize it in a way where people aren't just hanging around to hang around. So why am I telling you this now? Because before you book your flight back home, consider leaving Wednesday night. That's all I'm saying. Consider leaving Wednesday night. Don't make your flight unless you got a gig you got to get to that Thursday. It will so be worth your time to stick around. Okay? Consider doing that, please. I highly recommend that you do it. So not only do we, so first of all, isn't it great that we have a meeting room that we can be in? Yeah. Yes. Second thing is we're going to have a hospitality suite. Yes, we are. That we're going to have every single day during the conference. So if people want to meet or talk or whatever, we're going to be able to do that. Again, they arranged all of that. Now, some of this stuff we're going to pay for, but it's really cheap, because you know how much suites normally are? How much are suites normally? Like $500, $600, $700, $800 a day? Yeah. It's like nowhere near that. Let's just say that, because we are a community group. Is that awesome or what? Here's the third thing. This year, who on here has ever attended a Black NSA, you know, our main program that we have every year at Influence? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yeah. Well, guys, this is the first time it's going to be on bling level. like Beyonce level. It's gonna be freaking awesome. We're gonna have a big stage. We're gonna have signs, all this stuff. We're gonna have a sit-down dinner. We're gonna have big round tables. We're gonna have a huge program. It's gonna be out of this world because not only because it's in my hometown, but it's at one of the nicest hotels in Dallas, and they're paying for all this stuff. Not our food. We still gotta pay for our food, and they're gonna send us, they're going to send us ideas, and someone within Black NSA is going to manage the menu. So if you're a food person and you like that kind of stuff, please hit me up because we need someone who's going to go back and forth and tell National what we need. But I hate that kind of stuff. So if that's your thing, you're like, oh, I'm going to choose our food, please reach out. I'm asking for somebody like that. So it's so many things. I could take up the whole hour, but I'm not going to do that. My final call to action to you is if you're on the fence, you're hesitating, you're scratching your head, trying to figure out if it's worth going to Influence, you need to be there only if you're serious about really, really making this industry work for you. That's all I'm saying, because I'm willing to help you. And would you not introduce them to everyone they need to meet?
Absolutely.
Hello. And I mean, come on now. I mean, Doris, you've been an NSA member for how long?
10 years.
Now, so would you not introduce your fellow mastermind members to people they need to meet?
Absolutely.
Do you see where I'm going? Susan, what conference is this for you? Is this number 2, number 3?
This is number 2. I was a virgin last year.
So Susan, you know some people now. Would you not introduce people around to people you know?
I would introduce you, and I would also tell you to take big, deep breaths in between. I would allow you to give yourself some space to absorb, ingest as much espresso as possible, and then take deep breaths.
See? You see what I'm saying? So please be there, guys. So are we good? Can I stop that piece? But I'm just on fire because, we've done some of these before, but we keep taking it to the next level next year. And to have headquarters say, listen, you guys shouldn't be handling some of these meeting things. You don't have to pay for that. We got that for you. She just described the room to me. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm on the phone with her. I wanted to just go through the computer and hug her. It was that awesome. So hopefully you're with me and we can do this, but the call to action is make sure that you register for the conference. And then number 2 is to make sure that you stay a day after and you can kind of talk to each other and room with each other if necessary. Okay? Don't try to room with me. I snore. I like to be by myself. Don't ask me, but I'm sure there's somebody else you can room with. Please make it happen. So let's stop. It's almost 15 minutes after. Hopefully that was worth your time. But guys, I just really want you to grow. I don't want you to come in here and say that was nice and then be at the same level by the end of the year. I'm all about moving the needle. So this is an incredible success ingredient that will help you move the needle. All right. So I gave you that information. Another thing too, Ann Sessions. Some of you have already booked time with Ann. Yay. You get an hour of her time. Now, Ann is very generous. She really is. But she's a busy woman. She's all over the place all the time. So if you want a designated amount of time where she's going to work on where is that worksheet? I carry it around everywhere I go. This worksheet right here, the 10 areas of your life or a specific area, Ann is going to help you work on this. And as to up the ante a little bit, I'm really good about accountability and strategic positioning. So, and I'm a very busy girl. I got a lot going on, but I talked with myself and I said, Self, would you be willing to do this because you care about your fellow Black NSA members? And Self said, sure. So I'm going to do it. I don't know when, so don't be holding me to, you got to do it tomorrow. I got to figure it out. But I'm willing to give you a private call. It's not an upsell call. I'd say maybe 30 minutes where I can talk about either your accountability as a speaker or speakerpreneur, as I call it, or strategic positioning. But you must book a session with Ann to get this. So this is a bonus. And I've asked Robert to do one, so he hasn't agreed yet. So if he doesn't agree, I'm going to be embarrassed. But if he doesn't, I will find somebody else who I know can bring a certain amount of flavor to you to see if they can also throw in a bonus. So this is for those of you that are going to book a session with Ann. It is $197. You may say, oh my gosh, that's a lot. It's not for her mind, okay? And then she'll remember that at the conference and probably, it'll help her be more familiar with your business. So I'm giving you some of my time, and then there's going to be somebody else who's going to give you time, and there's no extra money. And I'm very expensive to have my time. So for me to do this for free, and it's not a sales call, that's a very big deal. So yeah. So guys, book the session because the cutoff is going to be soon. And don't worry, those of you that have already booked the session with Ann will also get those bonuses. Can we get a hand clap on that one? Woo! Yeah, that's right. You're supposed to do it that way. Okay. So Ann, is this week really sex transmutation? Like, oh my
Yes,
goodness.
you were absent last week, so I'm not sure if you heard the recording, what I said.
I did. It was so good. Girl, that persistence piece, she said something. Y'all remember that quote she said about persistence? Oh, it was so good. What was it?
It's the insurance for success.
Yes. What was it? But your exact word was persistence is your insurance, but it was more than that.
Oh.
Insurance. You don't remember?
Well, watch the manatee video.
It was good. It was like your insurance for something. And I thought, oh man, there she goes dropping all these things. But I did watch it to make sure that I was caught up with what was going on. So Ann, why don't you talk to us, because we've read about sex trans. That word is hard. So I'm just gonna say sex. Okay, I'm just gonna say that because that second word I keep falling on it. So we're gonna talk about sex in terms of Think and Grow Rich. And we're going to talk about the sixth sense. So you got it, Ann.
Well, what I want to do is I want to go to, and I know we don't have that many minutes left, but we had a lot of activity in the groups this week. And we did talk somewhat about the persistence. And if we can have anybody to share, what my goal was the relationship between the subconscious mind and sex transmutation. So what I'd like to do, because we don't have much time left, Marquessa, if we can go to see if anybody had any aha moments from what they read. Anybody?
What?
I just really want to emphasize the power of auto-suggestion based on reading this chapter. The amount of influence that we have about what goes into our minds, and how we think about it and process it, what happens to us at night while we're sleeping. And I make sure that I read anything that's important to me before I go to bed, because I know my subconscious mind is working on that. And reading the chapters and so many of his principles, that just gets confirmed every time I hear it.
Have you considered memorizing that or any portion of that self-confidence formula?
I have memorized the self-confidence formula.
Awesome. Well, I'm still working on it, but you can see now the relationship between all the chapters that you've had so far.
Absolutely.
And that's really my point about the subconscious mind, because we have to program it, right? And when you think about the sex transmutation and taking that energy and transforming it, but into what and to what purpose? Now that is where the 6 steps come from. So we never have to ask the question, what do I need to do today? So for me, it is, what does it have to do with the 6 steps? How much money do I want to make? And when you go to step number 4, what's the plan? So thank you for that, Doris. I think somebody else was trying to raise their hand. Was that you, Wendy? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
First.
I was going to type it. My aha was the idea that that negative energy and negative thoughts are kind of the default, and that they are going to be there and they will grow unless we actively feed our mind with positive, more effective and influential, positive influence, thought, and energy.
Yeah, James Allen in his awesome book, I almost called it The Secret, but the name escapes me. But anyway, we talk about the mind being like a garden.
Mm-hmm.
The weeds don't need anything to grow. They just, no sun, they need nothing. And our negative thoughts are the same way. So when you, in the past, what we've done is we've combined the subconscious mind and the brain together. But when you think about going back, and I keep going back to the self-confidence formula, and Doris can nod on this, the second part of that self-confidence formula says that, I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind, they're going to transform themselves into outward reality. But am I, and that's why I asked the question weeks ago, if everybody on here were to tell us, what time do you think? So what would you say, Wendy? What time do you really schedule to think?
Wednesdays,
Time.
Wednesday morning,
Time.
8 to 10 a.m.
Okay, perfect. You see where I'm going? Okay, now, Tanya, what time do you schedule with yourself to think? Okay, thanks.
Every morning from 7:30 until 9:30, whilst I'm at work. It's my quiet time.
Perfect. Monica? Time to think, Monica.
Every morning about 7 times.
Perfect. Mary?
7 to about 8 in the
Okay.
a.m.
Summer?
7
Okay.
morning.
Okay, Summer? Just come off mute.
Okay, yeah. Sundays from 10 to midnight.
Okay, Chris? Yeah, come off mute, Chris.
In the morning from about 7 until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, Doris?
6 to about 7:30.
Okay, Ursula?
4 a.m. to about 6.
Okay, perfect. Allison? You have to come off mute, Allison.
9 to 10 in the morning.
Okay, David?
Every morning from 5 till 6:30.
Perfect. Demetria?
Every night, 10 p.m. to midnight.
Okay, Susan?
Around 11:30 to 11:45 at night. Honestly, I need to get more time.
Pavela, I'm not sure if you heard the question. What time do you schedule yourself to think? Just come off mute, Pavela. Yes.
You said what time do I schedule myself to think?
Yes.
Usually first thing in the morning, so between like 8:30, 9:30.
Okay. I would like to encourage everybody that gave a time. I know most of us are night people. Well, most of you are. I'm not a night person. but everybody gave a time after 6 a.m. I would just like to, did I get you, Ursula? I got it. Did I get everybody? Did I miss anybody? I got everybody. Perfect. I would like to challenge you. If you said any time after 6 a.m., I like to make a challenge to you. And this heavily goes back to the artist's way. Yeah. So if you would consider, just maybe for the duration of this course, consider sometime prior to 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, David's shaking his head. I'm not sure if anybody else, Allison's shaking her head the opposite way. And for those people who are night, Demetria is really going crazy. And I didn't even ask my question. But again, those people who are night people, just no work with me. Can you help me out here, David?
Yes.
I mean, anybody.
And what was the bedtime that you would suggest?
I can't think. Right. She wants us in bed by 8 p.m.
No, really, but for some of us, we have a body clock that says, I've got to go to the ladies' room. I got to go. I cannot lay here any longer. What only thing I want to suggest, even if you do it one day, and maybe on a weekend that you don't have to work, only thing I'm suggesting is there's a different time, there's a different spirit when your body and your mind has had a chance to rest. Now, rest for you may be 3 or 4 hours, but when you get up early in the morning, I mean very early in the morning, right? We're talking about sex transmutation here. Still interested, okay? And you're able to transform some of that energy before the phone starts ringing, before the sun comes up, and you have I call it a date with myself. Now, for me, it's a couple of hours. So yes, I do go to bed at 8 o'clock. And right now I'm stretching it because I have a call after this call, which is gonna, so if I start nodding on that 8 o'clock. But again, my point is, when you think about transferring that energy into another form, what does that look like? Yeah, there are people who work really, really well from midnight to 6 o'clock in the morning. But all I want to do is just challenge you. We're talking about sex transmutation. Just try it one day. And going back to the conversation we had with Havila a week or two ago, and get out a pad and just do a brain dump and release it on the page. That's all I'm saying. Because that's a very different energy when you're up all day and you're up half the night and everything is going. It's like, I call it like a good pot of beans. Have you ever noticed if you let a good pot of beans sit? Come on, somebody from the South.
Come on now. I'm feeling you.
I'm sorry. That pot is just not the same as when you turn it off.
That's true.
Versus when you let it sit for a while. And what I'm encouraging each of you to do, take some time and sit for a while. Sit with your whatever, whoever it is you worship, but also self. And that's really what I'm asking you. What is your date with yourself time? Not the time you're gonna, and for me, I don't really get how it can be in the day. That's just me. Because the phone's ringing, we're moving and everything else is moving. Even if you could only do 15 minutes, just 15 minutes. And in 15 minutes, you will slowly find, especially if you're journaling it, 15 minutes will quickly turn into 30. If you just think about how do you really release, and somebody, I'm not sure if it was Susan or Wendy, somebody asked on the Facebook page weeks ago about, I call it, my mind is like a group of stallions in the morning when I wake up. They're just going all over, running. And I have to, rope them in and pull them in. But I'm not sure which one of you, but somebody asked a few weeks ago on the Facebook page about what do you do when you get up and you just have to get centered. And I responded with a post, I'm not sure who it was, and I suggested journaling, right? I'm not sure who that was. But just if you could have that, to think about that. And Marquessa, you're gonna say something, we're ready?
Oh my gosh. No, first I was like, oh heck no, because I'm a night owl, not a morning bird. But I'm feeling what you're saying the more I'm listening to it, because on a rare occasion, when I do get up and I walk now down the block, and you are so right, it's almost like I'm walking and I don't realize I'm walking. So I'm burning calories, and then I'm talking myself through what I got to do. I can, record it. I mean, I do some live videos sometimes. And I come up with all these ideas, and I also listen to my coaches in my phone. I get so much done in the morning when I walk, and I set up my body to do what I need to do. So although part of me is like, oh no, part of the reason I work for myself is I like to sleep in, but I agree with you. Although I do get a lot of things done at night, once all this stuff comes in, it's cluttered. But when you first, and you know what, I need to stop waking up in the morning, I don't know if anybody else does this, and going right to my phone. And I do this, I go right to the phone before I shower, anything else, I go right to the phone. And before I know it, a whole hour has gone by. I need to get up, do what I need to do, walk outside like they do in the Lifetime movies, feeling all good, and then take it all in. I'm going to do it, Ann. Anybody else up from the challenge? I'm doing it. So thank you. I'm going to do it.
Marquessa?
I mean, you can try
Go ahead,
one
David.
day a week. I can definitely commit to that.
Yeah, one is fine. No, one is fine. Well, David's trying to say something.
Well, I just truly like to say what Ann said is true. I wake up every morning, 4:30, and just really get myself together from 5 to 6:30. It is just amazing when that time and you set, and it's amazing when I do that, how I train my mind. Ideas come to me all during the day.
Give me 5.
It's just a powerful thing. It's just a powerful thing.
Can you give me 5? Just give me 5.
I have to also
with that, and that has really allowed me, the last mastermind, the money that I said that I wanted to achieve, I accomplished, as well as this one. The money that I wanted to achieve for this one, by me waking up that time, allowed me to create the ideas. So I've already accomplished the goal for this mastermind as well. So it works.
May I ask, David, what time do you typically go to bed?
10:30.
Okay.
Right. I also started to walk in the morning, and I think that for me, it was when I needed to have what I would call that quiet time. So I usually wake up about 6:30. It's just like a clock that goes off. And I remember reading somewhere that says, if you wake up, get up. So I started walking when it got colder. I wasn't doing it as much, but I remember just walking and being quiet, just walking and things would just come to me. There was a sense of peace by the time I finished the walk and got back to the house, and I could really begin my day. And I know some of that started as a result of just finding that space after my husband passed, and I just needed that kind of quiet time, and I kept doing it after. And so now the weather is getting warm again, and I live close enough to the water that I can walk along the waterway. But things just come to you when you're like in that moment, and I call it kind of a stillness, but and really just like block out everything else and just walk, and other things come in. So I just want to say, Ann, I'm with you on that, and I'll move my time to 6:30 at least.
Yeah, now I know Ursula is getting ready to say something, and Marquess is going to move us because it's already after 6. But I want to just encourage everybody. This is a demonstration of the transference of the energy. This is sex transmutation. This is transferring that energy to another energy form. And that energy form will begin to lead you toward the accomplishing of your goals, because you're not over in this other space that is not serving you as well. So anyway, Ursula, you want to say something, please?
Well, I just wanted to say that one of the reasons that 4 to 6 o'clock works for me is a lot of times when I'm having to produce a lot of things and I need for it to not be interrupted, I will actually go to sleep from 8 till about midnight, or from 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning and get up. But that time from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I get so much done. And then I'll go back to bed and wake up at 9 o'clock or something. But that time when everybody else is asleep, it works. Because no phone calls, no discussion, no interruption, not even television that's interesting. So it's just pure get it done.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. All right, Marquessa, so we're back. We're all yours.
All right, good. Wow, I'm just getting so inspired. I love you guys. All right, so I heard it on the replay, but I don't remember. Who's with Ann this week? Who are her 2 groups this week? Who are your 2 groups this week, Ann?
The ones we had last week.
She was in our group last week.
She was in our group last week, but we'll take her again.
So
David and Havilah.
That's who you met with last week?
Right.
So this week you need to meet with Wendy
and Susan.
Susan. Yay! All right. So I'm gonna put you in Wendy's group first.
We want her back though.
Yeah, she's ours now.
And then Robert got to all of you guys for the check-ins for the account.
Yeah.
Needle, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you're trying to say I need to get to all of y'all. What you trying to say? So anyway, I'm a little bit more long-winded. So I'm gonna start with David's group. I'm gonna sign myself in David's group when it's time, and then I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm just trying to remember. So it's gonna be Wendy for Ann, and then the second group is Susan's. All right, so I'm gonna do David and Havilah.
Or did you really mean Havilah?
Yeah. I'm going to all of them, but I'm trying to hit the other. All right, guys, let's do this. I'll see you back here in about 35, 40 minutes. Let's do it, guys. It's really hot, so I'll see you in a few. Let me, I forgot. Oh, open our rooms. All right, here we go. Boom. And hopefully, Demetri, you can get in the room this week now. Okay, something with Demetria's thing that doesn't put her in a room, so I'm hoping it'll work. Okay, then I can go ahead and pause. There we go. We're back to recording. This is the second part of Black and SA $1 Million Mastermind, and if it kills me, I'm in another week. I just drive me crazy.
Right? Are we 6?
Yeah, I think it's week number 6. I can never remember. Or I'll say the wrong week. It's in the recording section. Yeah. This week is week number 7. See? Already. It's week number 7, guys. The mystery of sex transmutation is week number 7. So what was I talking about again? I hate when I
The Black NSA email for power players who are interested in
Yes.
interviews.
If you're interested, you've been in this industry for, and I'll even tell y'all 6 years, that's fine. I think you got some value if it's been at least 6 years. And then if you're just willing to be transparent and share your journey, you learn all sorts of things. Send an email to theblacknsa@gmail.com. Theblacknsa@gmail.com. Professional speaking industry, not a different industry. And we usually only like it to be professional members of NSA. So if you're not a professional member, we still need to look at it and make sure, because we don't know what's going to come out your mouth. And we want to make sure that you know, that you kind of know NSA's world. So just saying that so that you're not disappointed if, you know, we pick others. But yeah, so please do that. So Anne, we've got to pay attention to time. I got a couple of announcements, but I'd like you to do your debriefing magic.
Okay, Marquessa, one of the areas we talked about, I'm not sure if any of you had a chance to, it was a little late, but watch the YouTube video that I placed on Outwitting the Devil. Yeah.
Some of it, like 30 minutes of it, because I know it was like an hour and a half. Yeah.
No, that's okay. And the reason I said that is because, and I chose that because it described for me, and I wanted to share. Some people have already read the book. Some people have listened to the video, or the YouTube video. But when you talk about the subconscious mind, he gives a really good explanation of his power. Would you say, anybody who listened to it, would you say yes?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Yes.
All right. Any thoughts about that? We talked about sex transmutation. So now when you take sex transmutation and the power of the subconscious mind, and you think about that YouTube video, anybody want any thoughts? And Marquessa, this is my wrap up. Also, I want to say, Marquessa, I want to be able the next week we're going to do the next 2 chapters and we're done. But I want to be able to go into the epilogue for those who have the book. Okay. Because the epilogue continues the book for those that have this version, right? Okay. So any comments real quick? We only have 4 minutes, but any comment other than the people we've talked about, we talked about this in one of the groups, both groups. But anybody else, any thought on an aha that you may have gotten from listening to How to Outwit the Devil? Just one.
Drifting. The definition of he used of drifting.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, you know that's in the book.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Anybody else?
I loved from the subconscious mind, the idea that thoughts are like yeast.
Thoughts are like what?
Yeast in bread.
Yeast. Yes, yes, grows. Right. Yes, yes. Perfect. All right, anybody else?
I just think the concept of the devil, and you describe it as anything that holds you back, that devil, he described himself as negative energy. That's all it is, just negative energy. It doesn't have to be the guy with horns and a pitchfork. That state, avoiding negative energy, is so critical to our success.
Now, let's take that and let's take the subconscious mind chapter. And that's one of the reasons why I uploaded that, because when you think about the power of your subconscious mind, what are you doing to program it for the positive? Right? David, you getting ready to say something?
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. So again, if any of you get a chance, please download that YouTube video if you want to listen to it on some other form. But again, or if you get the book. The point I want to make in the exercise, when you talk about not just the subconscious mind, but also the brain, which we're going to read next week. Think back to this, and I'll challenge you that next Monday when we come back, if you've already heard it, listen to it again. If you've not heard it, listen to it and reread Subconscious Mind and the Brain as we go to the next 2 chapters to finish the book. And then in your small groups, Marquessa, this is the homework for all of you that's group leaders, and have that discussion. And the reason why for me this is so very important as I wrap up is because when you, regardless of what number you choose, that's your number 1, and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and all of that, until you can get control of this, this is why we talked earlier about What time is your appointment with yourself? And how all of these things relate to sex transmutation and the subconscious mind and the brain. We'll get to that. But the audio, when he's continuing to pull you in the busyness, I'm going to say after 6 o'clock or after 7 o'clock in the day, versus you, I don't know if any of you remember, he talked about, well, you and your wife or you and your spouse. Allison, you got to go on mute, Allison. Thank you. You and your wife and you and your spouse or you and your significant other. When you have a mastermind group or a connection with another person that you can feed off of and you can bounce things off of, you tend to not be as negative in terms of just by yourself and not having that support, which is one of the reasons why I really strongly suggest all of you, and I said this to the two groups, consider joining this mastermind group again in the fall, right? Because the more you do it and the more you delve into the book, we went back to the affirmation of the self-confidence formula and talked about the task of thinking about the person you want to come. That's a matter of programming your subconscious mind. During the time of that sex transmutation, if you will, okay? But again, what are we going to do individually and collectively to help support each other in this? So I'm going to wrap up with that, Marquez. I know you have announcements and we want to be done by 7 so we can have a break before we come back on in 15 minutes.
All right, great. All right. And thank you. This was real quick, guys. Your groups went really well, right? Group leaders, David, Havilah, Wendy, Susan. Just one quick, wonderful thing from your group. And keep it short, like 10 seconds.
I think for our group, it was definitely being in this energy of being flexible and enjoying the process, because I think this week we were able to utilize that transmuting of negative energy into positive energy. And even there were some shifts that happened even on our call, even when you came in, Marquessa, and kind of gave some different perspectives to the members in our group. So just being able to surrender, let go, and enjoy the process. Because we even talked about in the subconscious chapter, we have to be patient and persistent, but definitely patient, because we can't entirely control our subconscious mind, but we can keep feeding it until it moves in the direction we want it to go.
Wonderful. Yay. Who's next?
I think with the winners group, Doris has an event this coming Saturday. So I think between Simone, Monica, and myself, we all put all of our energy together and just really was feeding Doris some great ideas, because we truly want her to succeed April 7th. So it was just a lot of great energy. We believe in everyone in our group, and we just really put that energy towards Doris because we want her to shine and be fabulous like she was designed to be.
Oh,
I am so ready.
And I see the transformation, guys. It's amazing. All right, who's next?
This is Wendy. What I loved about our group meeting tonight is that several of us came into our meeting thinking, well, I didn't really move the needle. And we realized that we really did. And so to watch hey, I made some progress. We all left the group feeling a lot more positive, a lot more affirmed, and a lot more ready to go move the needle even more. So that was really heartening to see.
Aw, you guys are so powerful. This is why I love all of you, especially our facilitators. And who have we not heard from in terms of facilitators? Miss Susan!
So I think our group learned that the devil is not only negative energy, but he is fear. And part of transmuting that sexual energy is being able to, as Anne said, see the person that you want to be at the end of this goal. Like if it's even this mastermind goal or at the end of our lives, whether it's a eulogy, like thinking about who we want to become and set ourselves on the mind of feeding the subconscious of who we wish to be. And to embody that and become that every day. We feed our self-conscious with the future us and everything that we can become.
Wow. And do we not have some good groups today? I'm getting chills. This is so awesome. Oh, wow. Well, thank you guys for just being engaged, committing, and then pouring into each other's success. You know, it just makes the pie bigger. And just like David said, it makes us all shine so that we can serve the world in a bigger way. My closing announcements is I just posted in the mastermind. If you want to help us out in Influence, you know you're coming. I would love for you to be on the team. Just go there and fill it out. We already got about 12 volunteers. So I'm going to eventually start adding you guys to a Facebook group and assign you something, whether it's a menu item or something. I'm going to give you something to do. So make sure you do that. And then I put it in here. I know it didn't make any sense what I put in here. And just to be clear, and I want to share this here, our next 2 chapters will be the brain and the sixth sense for next week.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. And then the week after that, so just to be clear, guys, we're getting down to the end. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to say goodbye soon. I'm gonna cry. I'm trying to go somewhere right now. I know what it is, recordings and transcripts. For some reason.
And then aren't we doing a portion of the 6 Ghost of Fear?
The what?
Are you in the epilogue? Are you in the epilogue?
No, yeah, is that the epilogue?
That's the last section is the 6 Ghost of Fear.
We're gonna do that the last week.
That's the epilogue.
Yeah, that's the epilogue, right? So then this is week number 7. I know, right? Week number 8 will be the brain and the sixth sense. So we've got to change that in there. And then week 9 will be the epilogue.
Yes.
And guess what else is week 9?
The end, huh?
Yeah, but it's the end, but it's something else. It's celebration time. Come on! It's celebration. It's celebration, guys. And wait a minute, I'm feeling like, am my weeks off? Today is the 2nd, right?
Right.
Yes. The 9th, something is wrong. The 9th is, if this is week number 7, we're a week off and we're ending too early. I knew something was wrong.
I thought we were in week 6.
We're ahead.
Okay. Because okay, good. Because our last date is the 23rd.
Right, but we're ahead in the book. See, we never get to the back of the book.
Oh, that is true. So you know what? I'm listening to you. Just want to make sure. Good.
So is it
going back to Haviland's point, and the devil and the fear, some of the best information is in the back of the book after the last
chapter. I see. Okay, gotcha.
We never get to go there.
Right. So true.
Okay,
good. So good. The brain and the sixth sense, and then epilogue. All right, guys, for the week of the 23rd, please plan to be on here through 8 o'clock so that we can celebrate. And if you have some ideas on what you'd like to celebrate, I'm open so that we can come up with a really awesome agenda, especially the facilitators. I really need your help with this on how we want to celebrate, okay? Each other for that last hour that we're going to be together for this mastermind. So make sure that's going to be the 23rd. So put that in your calendar so you're not leaving and saying, I got to miss it. Make sure that you're with us through 8 o'clock for that last week on the 23rd. And you should be with us. I think, Havilah, aren't you speaking next week?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You want to share with the group what you're speaking on next week?
Certainly. So we're going to, in a couple weeks ago, we talked about, and we had the amazing guest of Helen Chang who came on to talk about writing your books, because I know each and every one of you have a powerful message inside of you. But once it gets to actually publishing your book, what are some of those different formats and platforms that you can use to be able to get that information out into the world, and then getting publicity behind it? Yes, I am the publicity magnet, and I want to be able to share with you all some of the tips and tools and tricks that I use to be able to get on those television shows and radio shows and magazine covers to be able to share your message as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. It'll definitely be open to answering questions that you may have, but we're going to go from publishing to publicity and how you can do it.
And when is this?
This will be next week. So April the 9th, it'll be right after our mastermind call at 7:05, 7:15, whatever.
I know. It's probably right at, I'm so tired, I don't know. Probably at 7 o'clock. Yeah, right after. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's at 7 o'clock, pretty much. So plan to stay on, guys, if you can. That would be fabulous. And did I cover everything? Because we want to give Ann a break. Ann, if you got to go, because you got to be on at 7:15. I don't want you to feel like, oh, I didn't get a water break. So I understand. And guys, we're about to end. Was there anything I forgot? I try to put all the hints in here for myself. And now y'all are so great with comments. I can't find my comment. So I'm forgetting something. Okay, so I gave you the announcement about that. What is it that I'm forgetting? Oh, here we are. Our celebration schedule. What time is your appointment? Help us on Black and SA Team, The Brain and the Sixth Sense. And I think that's it. And if you missed the beginning of the call, please listen at the beginning. Please go and listen to the recording. It'll be posted within 24 hours because we got a special person doing all that stuff. Because guys, did I make some big announcements at the beginning? Yeah, right. So please listen to that. I don't want to take your time to go over all of that, and meet us on that call so you can hear where this brilliant woman that God put on this earth for all of us, Miss Ann McNeil, really where she comes from. What are her habits? What, you know, what got her to that $1 million status, and just you just get to know more about the person and the professional and the giant that we all love with the biggest heart. So that's going to start at 7:15. The link should be in the mastermind. Did I forget anything? Any quick questions or anything I need before we hang out? No? All right, guys.
Marquesa, can you please email the call-in information? This is Thomasina. I apologize. I'm driving, so I can't go into the chat and all of that. If you wouldn't mind, please, just emailing it to me.
Let me see.
I sent an email that should be in the mailbox. Thank you.
It's a Zoom number, though. Isn't it a Zoom number?
Is it?
Yeah, you know what? I need to register for it myself.
Yep. So where did you say it was, Marquesa?
It is today. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going into it.
Because all you need is just a Zoom number.
Yeah, but
does anybody have it?
No. Yeah. Here it is. I'm putting it in the. Let me just do this right now. Control V. What the heck? All right. What's wrong? Why isn't it not working?
So the link that's in Facebook, I just tried to click on it. It said it wasn't available. Is that just because it hasn't started yet?
No, it should take you somewhere. Yeah, but you know, they have a habit. That's why you have to be careful about when you post. In here, it has a habit of cutting it off. Let me just see. That can be a problem why people won't show up. I'm so glad that. Let me see what's going on. No, that's what happened. Okay, I see it right here. I'm registering for it now just to kind of see what's happening. By the way, guys, you should use RoboForm. It is the best thing. It fills information out in 2 seconds, and you only have to remember one master password. Okay, so it's join webinar in process, and yes, if you join a webinar, it's going to give you everything.
What's the number?
It is. I'm putting it right here. Everyone, don't open. Okay, here we go. I just put it there. Grab that link, guys, and it takes you right to the page. And I'm glad I know this because there's a lot of folks that wouldn't be there. Because that link does not work. It's a event posting thing.
Oh, so is this a Google Hangout?
No, no, it's an actual Zoom webinar.
And where did you put the information? You said you put it.
I just put it in the
chat. Do you have to sign back in again?
Yeah, but it's a different group. It's a different group. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have another person leading that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
See you all there.
Thank you.
Can somebody mind reading me the number, please?
It's not a, I have to send you a link, Thomasina, or I have to register you this way because it doesn't do it. A webinar is different.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I can do this for you. Hold on for a second. Is she still here? I can do this.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to stop the recording. I'll see you over there.